I never imagined I'd reach a point where I could simply stop caring. For years, I felt invisible, as if I were walking around with my heart exposed, and she barely noticed. Every joke aimed at me, every slight hidden as playful teasing, slowly wore me down. She either didn't realize the pain she caused, or maybe, in some cruel way, she did. I tried to speak up. I tried to make her see me, truly see me. But nothing ever changed. I was patient, maybe too patient, clinging to the hope that one day she'd acknowledge me. It wasn't that she was cruel all the time. She had this magnetic charm, this way of commanding attention that drew everyone in, but it always came at my expense. She ridiculed my ideas, cut me off when I spoke, constantly compared me to people I wasn't. I sat there, shrinking inside, doubting my worth, wondering if I even deserved respect. And the worst part? She didn't seem to notice the damage. Or perhaps she relished it at times. I can't tell. One evening, though, shifted something inside me. We were at a small gathering with her friends. I had prepared something personal to share, something I hoped would make her proud or at least see me differently. But the moment I started speaking, she laughed before I could finish. She mocked the way I spoke, my gestures, my little stammer. The group joined in, half amused, half uncomfortable. My face burned, my stomach knotted. I wanted to vanish, yet I stayed. I always stayed. That night, alone, replaying the event, I realized something. Why should I let someone treat me this way? Why pour my energy, my emotions, my time into someone incapable of respect? Deep down, I knew a change was overdue. I resolved, quietly but decisively, to stop caring about her jokes, her opinions, her games. I would reclaim my happiness. The change wasn't immediate, but it started subtly. I stopped laughing at her cutting remarks. I stopped reacting to her jabs. I no longer bent myself to suit her moods. I began living for me, in ways I hadn't allowed in years. Slowly, I noticed her reaction. She had assumed she controlled me, thrived on my patience and loyalty. But as I withdrew that energy, the dynamic shifted. Suddenly, she reached out, checked in, offered compliments she had never given. She began listening when I spoke. Truly listening. It was almost surreal. The person who had treated me like a fool now sought my attention, my respect, my acknowledgement. I could feel her awareness of her own past behavior. She confronted the reality that I would no longer be diminished. A new tension filled the space between us, a mix of surprise, fascination, and desire. She had counted on endless tolerance, and now she discovered boundaries. The result was remarkable. She began treating me with genuine care, thoughtfulness, and even admiration, things she had never shown before. But the most profound change was within me. I felt alive, grounded, unshakable. I had discovered a crucial truth. No one can make you feel small unless you allow it. By stepping back, by refusing to let her words dictate my value, I reclaimed my power. It was poetic in its own way. The less I cared, the more respect she seemed to offer, not out of manipulation, but because I demanded it for myself. Over time, the way she interacted with me transformed entirely. She learned, sometimes awkwardly, to treat me as an equal, to recognize my feelings, to appreciate me. And I realized that validation from anyone else wasn't necessary. My worth wasn't up for negotiation. Looking back, it's astounding how one shift in mindset can change a relationship, a life. The person who once mocked and underestimated me began to see me differently. And I never begged, never pleaded. I simply refused to let her define my happiness. That made all the difference. I don't tell this to boast, nor is it about revenge. It's about claiming the respect and dignity that belong to you. When you make that decision, your world changes. Sometimes, the people who once dismissed you will notice. And sometimes, they'll treat you in ways they never did before. If you've ever felt overlooked, undervalued, or invisible, remember this. The power to change everything starts with you. Stop letting those who diminish you hold sway over your life. Stand firm, honor yourself, and watch how the world, and sometimes those who hurt you most, begin to respond differently. The strength has always been yours. All you have to do is reclaim it.